Listen, sometimes I find myself being an Ashley apologist, but despite that and being an Ashley and Andre shipper, I personally don't feel bad for Ashley after this week's episodes of Beyond the Gates because of the fact that she made her bed. Now, unfortunately for her, she has to lie in it alone. Because for me, despite me being a major shipper of her and Andre, the moment that died was when Andre rushed to the hospital to comfort Ashley after hearing about Derek's accident. And when he went in for a hug and then she kind of pushed him away, it's like, Derek and I are engaged. Wait, what? Because obviously this was her reaction to witnessing Danny kissing Andre in his, his apartment. And then she just ran. And from there, after the accident, she went right back to Derek. And it's like, Derek is my guy. He's the one I want to build a future with. Instead of having a mature conversation about what went down or what she witnessed and not giving Andre the opportunity to explain, she just ran back to Derek and then was the one that said, I want to marry you. That was her. She was the one who initiated the engagement. And it's like, well, I wanted to tell you in person because I didn't want you to find out through a social media post. And I just want you to be happy for me. What? Yeah, I want you to be happy for me. And then Andre through tears like, yeah, I'm happy. And then she brought this man into Derek's hospital room. And he just had to stand there as she went over to Derek's side. And literally, despite him not being able to walk, he metaphorically was able to do a victory lap around Andre, the guy that swooped in on his girl after they broke up. And he just had to stand there and take it. And it's like, well, dang. So then, of course, that's when he met up with Danny and they were both getting drunk at the country club because, she had just been in a lot of situations from the Haley miscarriage to Bill putting his foot down and setting boundaries. So they were both broken because the people that they wanted pretty much said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm with my future. I'm building a future with this other person. So then they went to Vegas and got married. Now, look, I get it. Soap operas move differently than other shows I review. So the time just passes by because apparently Derek has been in recovery for months. And I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, that's the thing. So over the course of, the past few weeks, and I'm talking about in our time as we were watching the episodes live, there might be occasions where Ashley and Andre would talk and it'd be like, you could tell the attraction was still there, but it's like, yeah, it's a good thing, you're with Danny and I'm with Derek because things are how they're supposed to be. And it's like, it was never really convincing that Ashley wanted to be in this situation. It's almost like she was low-key coming to grips with, her new reality. And even though every encounter they had, you could tell Andre was kind of trying to chip away at the confidence she had in her relationship. It's like, Derek is just your comfort zone. And then she got mad. And then I think the first time we really saw Andre begin to drift away from Ashley was when he went to the hospital. I think this was his last time at the hospital hub, the nurse's station. And he got off the elevator. Ashley says, hey, and he's like, hey, she's like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, actually, I'm here to see my favorite person. And she's like, my Uncle Ted. Yeah, we're going over some new files for a project or whatever. And that's when he mentions like, yeah, well, I'm about to jet after this because, I'm going home to my wife. Oh, how's everything going with Danny? Yeah, everything's cool. I don't know. Okay, because, Naomi said something interesting to me about how she feels her mom might have just gotten married to you as a way to kind of stick it to, Bill. And that's when Andre defends his marriage like, hey, well, I know what Danny and I have was a spur of the moment thing and it might seem unconventional to others, but it works for us. So, yeah. And then he heads out. And that left Ashley a bit kind of, whoa, because typically Andre's the one who's trying to nudge her in the right direction, aka towards him. But this time around, it was like, no, the roles were reversed. It reminded me of Two Can Play That Game. The transfer of negative energy from one party to the next. So yeah, instead of Andre being the person to try to question Ashley's relationship and Ashley defending it, the roles are reversed. And then from there, there's the huge revelation of Derek can stand after, the whole pressuring of setting a wedding date. Now, Ashley was low down for what she did for contacting Andre to come over in the middle of the night and basically say that Derek betrayed me and this whole thing made me realize I really want you. But let's just take Andre being married out of the equation. Let's say he was available. Now, I don't know if in the show it has been settled on the open. I know Danny mentioned an open marriage, but I don't know if they are still in an open marriage. I don't know. I mean, she claims to have closed the door on Bill, and the last couple of interactions they've had have not been sexual. And by that, I mean no kissing or anything. But I think that Andre deserves better because in my mind, I like going back to that moment where I personally closed the door on being a shipper for him and Ashley was when she went right back to Derek and literally said, he's my guy. He's the one I want to build a future with. At that moment, I'm like, that's it. Like, you closed the door on Andre because you went back to Derek for all the wrong reasons. So whatever happens from this point on, you can't be mad because you chose to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. Her mom was filling her heads about Andre being a playboy and he'll leave you and this, that, and the third, just because her past was bad with a guy like an Andre. And then Derek's pressure tactics pushed her away. But then instead of, like I said, having a conversation with Andre, she acted funky towards him the next time he went up to her to talk because of the whole kissing Danny thing. So had she had taken a moment to breathe and talk instead of brushing him off and is leaving, Andre confused as to why she's acting the way she's acting. Come on now. And plus, Andre ought to know better. Dude is too good to be a rebound guy. Because something tells me that as soon as Ashley gets back on her feet emotionally, she'll probably go right back to Derek. Like, what would stop her? I mean, it's like people said, it felt like Ashley was looking for any excuse to leave Derek. And thankfully, she caught him standing, and that was her reason to leave. And that's how she is. Because rather than have a conversation or be the one to admit to her own shortcomings or taking accountability, she will wait for a person to quote unquote screw up and then lash out at them over the top because it's a culmination of all of her anger about every little thing she kept a tab on in order to justify her going off and breaking up with somebody. And it sucks because Andre not only wanted to give you the world, he wanted to take you around it. But you gave it up because of that kiss. And what's crazy to me is that Ashley, how would you, if I were Andre, I'd have been like, listen, what kind of man would I be if I dumped my wife to be with you? Like, would you really want a man who would leave his wife to be with you? Because you always question, if Andre left Danny while they were married for me, who's to say he wouldn't leave me if we got married someday? I really, Andre didn't need to go in on Ashley like that. But I really do wish he would have brought up, well, I want you to be happy for me. Isn't that what you told me when you and Derek got engaged? Because I think I'm falling in love with my wife because she's my future. She's the one I want to build with. Literally, it would have been just so delicious if Andre threw Ashley's words in her face. That would have been just oh man. And the crazy part is, he did it with such class. Like the way he held his hands out and then took her hands. I think in that moment, Ashley thought oh my God, he is going to come back to me. I can't. What? And then he's like, I know what you're feeling now and it's hurt. And you just want to run back to what's familiar. So I will admit, as much as I wanted him to be petty, he rejected her in such a classy way. So, and then when it's like, I think I'm falling in love with my wife. You think? I don't know why I cracked up. It's just the delivery of that line. It killed me because it was such an Ashley way of saying it. So it's like, wait, so you're not going to leave your wife for me because you think you're falling in love with her. And if you watch this scene without context, it's like, wait, what do you mean he thinks he loves his wife? Because it's so awkward. But it goes back to what Andre said. He and Danny have what appears to be an unconventional union, an unconventional marriage to some, but it works for them. So I ain't gonna hold you. And say what you will though about Andre going over there without telling Danny or whatever. But well, hey, when Danny goes to see Bill, she tells Andre, yeah, but they kissed twice, but she never told him about that. Yeah. So Andre, this is some crazy work. It really is. Also, side note, I don't think Ashley is going to tell Naomi about Andre coming over, because if she did, then she reveals that she did exactly what she told Naomi that she wouldn't do. So, man, that's some crazy work. But honestly, I feel like this could be the beginning of Ashley's villain arc. I honestly think that could be the case here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because next week, the synopsis for one episode says that Derek gets feelings for one of his coworkers, so it could be a female firefighter. So just throwing that out there.